Utah. What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Open Table Sports Podcast. I'm Matt. This is Angelo. We'll be talking everything sports. What's going on today, Angelo?
Nothing much. I'm glad to be back here.
It's been gone for a little bit. This is our microphone. So we'll be recording audio, and we're also live right now.
Yep.
So let's get started on things. We got the script pulling up here. So he's going to let us know what we're going to be talking about today.
All right, so just to kick it off, we're going to be talking about the NFL playoff outlook, the Matthew Dellavedova trade with the Cavs and the Bucks. We're going to be talking about the Mariners and, actually just a three-way team trade in general, and Thursday Night Football recap. Oh, also, and the Kyler Murray winning the Heisman Trophy. Sorry.
Well, what we do for our script is we do our podcast on Fridays. We're going to be adding some more throughout the week of just me and Angelo, since during the winter, Dom is gone, LJ isn't as available, Matt is not as available. So just me, Angelo, and Antonio. Antonio is not here today. He has work, but we will be carrying on the show as always, but we'll be looking to add more shows with just Angelo and I. So we'll get things kicked off with the kickoff talk. So the playoff outlook for the NFL as of now, heading into week 15. Obviously, in the NFC, we have the Saints and the Rams running the show over there. But I've been getting a lot of texts and calls about Bears. How are you feeling about the Bears?
In my opinion, they are a good team. The offense is strong, but the defense kind of doesn't make up for it. But also, in my opinion, the defense is a little bit overrated. They don't consistently play as well as they should. Like an example is the Giants about 2 weeks ago. Giants put up 30 points against them, and the Giants aren't really that good of a team. So they shouldn't be challenged by a team like the Giants. Mm-hmm. And the Giants, they beat them actually also. So, I mean, I don't want to say they're overrated, but in a way, in my opinion, their defense is very overrated.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Bears right now are sitting at 9-4, 3-1 in their division, 7-2 in the conference, which is really good.
Yeah.
Dallas sitting at 8-5. Dallas could win out and probably still win that top seed they're in contention for. So can Seattle. Seattle holds that top wild card spot. Seattle could make some noise if they face Dallas in that first round. I think the Cowboys will win that game, but the Seahawks have a chance. Then you have a big race coming up for that second wild card spot, but we do have some news on that later with the halftime viewer mail. But right now, I think the Saints are going to run away with it.
And going back to Seattle and Dallas, last week, was this past Thursday? No, 2 Thursdays ago. I'm sorry. Seattle looked really strong against the Vikings.
Seattle, they're picking it up. They don't have a great offense. They're very run-oriented, but that defense is surprisingly good. Everyone thought the defense wasn't going to be as good because they lost a lot of people.
And then they face San Francisco coming up this week.
But if you look at –
it looks like another win for them.
I think the Rams are going to get the top seed in the NFC, though, because they have the Eagles, the Cardinals, and the 49ers. 2 out of the 3 are home games, so they don't have to travel a lot. And even when they do travel, they're only going to Arizona, which is near Los Angeles. So I think the Rams are going to go 13-3. Let's look at the Saints schedule. They have Panthers, Falcons, Panthers.
Yeah.
Or is that the Panthers schedule? Who do the Saints have?
Yeah, the Saints play
Panthers, Steelers, Panthers for the Saints. Now, 2 interdivisional matchups. That is going to be hard. Panthers, people have been telling me Cam Newton's not a good quarterback, et cetera, et cetera. He's just not having a great year. He doesn't have a lot of weapons. He's lucky he has Christian McCaffrey, though.
Yeah, that definitely made up for it.
That's
helping a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's having a really good year, too, though.
But 2 games against the Panthers, that could either be very easy or very hard, depending on how the Panthers play. That defense is still good, though, I should say, for the Panthers. It's just the offense you have to worry about. Losing Greg Olsen, relying on Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore. Funchess has been injured.
Cam Newton inconsistency.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of question marks for that. So let's move to the AFC. Great AFC matchup. We'll get into that later about the Thursday Night Football last night. My Chargers won. It was a big win.
Yep.
Right now, Kansas City holds that top seed. I think they're going to get overthrown by the Chargers, even though the Chargers are a half game back. We'd have to win the next 2 games, and the Chiefs would have to lose 1. But we'll see what happens. New England sitting at 9-4. Houston sitting at 9-4. The pitiful Pittsburgh Steelers are sitting at 7-5-1. I don't like ties. tie shouldn't be anything in football.
Yeah, I don't like that rule that you could end the game in a tie. I don't think any sports really be able to end in a tie for any game.
Hockey, soccer.
So yeah, stuff like that. I feel like should be able to end in a tie.
Even hockey, they got the shootout, overtime also.
Yeah.
You can't have it. Like, imagine basketball ended in ties.
Yeah. Like some sports only do ties for like more important games. Like they don't end in ties for more important games.
Mhm.
But I feel like every game should end like with a definitive like team
Ending.
winning. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I don't want like a tie. Like I don't know. And also, like, in my opinion, the tie looks bad on the record.
It
Like, I
does.
don't
It
like the
doesn't
way
look that
looks.
good.
Yeah.
But Chargers sitting at 11-3 in the top wild card spot right now. When have you ever heard an 11-3 team sitting in the wild card spot?
Never, to be honest. Just a lot of tough opponents in that division. So
And then you have 4 7-6 teams: Baltimore, Indianapolis, Miami, and Tennessee. Then you have Denver sitting at 6-7. They're probably not going to make the playoffs. They'll have to win out, and those teams will have to lose one of their last remaining games. It's very hard. Broncos are out of it. Cleveland's out of it. Let's just be real, people.
And those ones you listed off before, they're fairly strong teams. There's a lot of like decent teams right now.
So this week you could see Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Denver all be eliminated.
Yeah, we were talking about it yesterday. There's still a lot of teams that are like in the race to make the playoffs.
You could see, how many is that? 1, 2. You can see 3 AFC teams just this weekend get knocked out with a loss or another team's win. So that's pretty tough. And then in the NFC, who can get eliminated this week? You could see, actually, everyone's in play.
Yeah.
And Giants can get knocked out. Lions, Tampa Bay, Green Bay. There's a lot of teams that can get knocked out for the NFC. So look for some moves to be made this weekend, whether it be firings or hirings for the NFL. Signings, releases. Because once team's out of contention, just release players at this point.
Yeah.
There's really no
for the
point.
Next season.
Who do you think is coming out of the NFC?
I'm trying to think.
I think it's going to be the Saints.
The Saints. Yeah, well.
I think the top seed is going to go to the Rams because of their easy schedule. But that didn't help the Rams. New Orleans had a harder schedule because they had to go against the Falcons. They have 2 games against the Panthers still coming up. Tampa Bay still a tricky team for the Saints. They had some trouble against them this year. Tampa Bay is a good team in my opinion. I think they just have too much youth where they need to grow. Tampa Bay is going to be a contender in 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I can see that.
Their offense is good. O.J. Howard and Brait at tight end. Then you have Jameis Winston. He's a good quarterback, people.
They need a better running back.
They need a running back. Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Get him. True, yeah. Maybe even trade for David Johnson. I heard the Cardinals might be looking to trade him.
I totally forgot Le'Veon Bell even played anymore.
Yeah.
I just haven't heard of him so long. I haven't seen him in so long. Yeah, that's
I
didn't even remember that.
But he'll be a free agent, so you can leave a comment on where you think Le'Veon Bell might go, where you think he should go.
And if he ultimately does get re-signed, which we doubt.
Why would the Steelers re-sign a player that he just said
forget about it?
Yeah, forget about it to them. But who do you think's coming? I think the Saints are going to come out because they're more hardened and battle tested than the Rams. The Rams, look at their division. Oh God, clicked on a link. Look at the Rams division.
Yeah.
Seattle, Arizona, and San Francisco.
No one really competes.
Seattle sits at 8-5. People, they're not good. No one at tight end. You have Russell Wilson at quarterback. You have Chris Carson at running back. Wide receivers, Doug Baldwin as your number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
And Tyler Lockett as your 2. If Doug Baldwin was on any other team, he'd be a 2 receiver, maybe even a 3 on some teams.
Yeah, he's just not the same as he was a couple seasons ago, getting older.
Plus, our offensive line can't pass protect for anything. They're lucky Russell Wilson's a mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
But I think for the NFC, it's going to be Saints. And I think for the AFC,
going with your Chargers?
I got to go with my Chargers. Patriots haven't been the same this year.
No, definitely
They've been beatable. Pittsburgh, they're falling apart. Who even knows if they're going to win their division? They're at 7-5-1. Baltimore's at 7-6. Pittsburgh still has Patriots, Saints, and Bengals left.
That'd be tough for them.
That's crazy.
They
could lose all 3 of them potentially. So I think right now the Ravens are going to win that division.
Oh, and with the injury of Ben Roethlisberger, is he going to be able to play?
I don't know.
Exactly. So
That's a
that
big
might hurt
question
them, too.
mark. Also, James Conner not being 100% with his ankle.
Yeah, there's a lot of
You're
factors.
really relying on Antonio Brown now for that offense and Juju.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough call. That's a tough call. And then you have Houston. They're going to win their division. They'll clinch this weekend.
Yeah.
Against the Jets. They play the Jets tomorrow, actually. Well, depends on when you're listening to the podcast. They play Saturday.
Yeah.
They play Saturday the 15th. We were thinking about going to the game, but we're not anymore because I have to go to New York tonight for ROH final battle. So I will be way too tired to drive to New York tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then look at this battle. Kansas City and the LA Chargers battling it out for the West. So we'll talk about Thursday Night Football last night since we're on the topic of the Chargers and the Chiefs.
Yeah, might as well.
I think the Chargers are going to come out of that division just because the Chiefs, no Hunt, no Ware. Kelsey, good, probably the best tight end in the league, hoping he doesn't get injured.
They don't really have any receivers that could show up. Like
Kelvin Benjamin and who's it? Sammy Watkins. Together, what are they, 400 pounds? Or no, they got to be over that.
Probably.
Because what's Kelvin Benjamin, like 250? And Sammy Watkins, like 250. Damn, they got to be like over 500 pounds, the two of them.
And Sammy, he's not even 100% healthy, is he still?
Sammy Watkins, he's going to be out into the playoffs. Kelvin Benjamin, I wouldn't even worry about him. Right now, they're based on Hill and Kelsey. That's it. Double team Hill, put a big safety on Kelsey. They're not going to do anything. I think the Chargers are going to come out. They have veteran quarterback, better offense, in my opinion. Now without Hunt and Watkins and Benjamin, I can care less about. He's not a good receiver. And Conley, he's not a good receiver. They're basically Kelsey, Hill, that's it. I know Mahomes can make plays, but the offensive – look how many pressures the offensive line gave up last night.
Yeah,
but that's also to Melvin Ingram, Uchenna Nwosu, and Joey Bosa on that front line. That's a good pass rush right there. Yeah. That's probably the best pass rushing duo in the league.
But also depends on like how easy is the Chiefs' schedule coming up.
The Chiefs' schedule, I'm trying to think of who they have. I know the Chargers have Ravens and Broncos left. Looked at it. Who do you think, Chiefs or Chargers?
That's tough for me because I mean the Chargers played really well last night, and the Chiefs. I mean, they played good, but not as good.
Without Hill, they're lost. They barely beat the Ravens last week.
Damien Williams came up big for them yesterday.
If he didn't,
if he didn't play well,
they would have scored 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
and like 2 field goals.
And also that first interception by Rivers that kind of messed them up.
Yeah, that messed them up a lot. That messed up their first half
drive.
Flow.
Yeah.
So for the Chiefs, they're at Seattle next week, and then home against the Raiders. Seattle could beat them in Seattle. That's a pretty scary matchup right there.
Yeah. I can see them losing to Seattle definitely, but
Raiders not so much. But Raiders are going to want to play spoils to the Chiefs in that last week, week 17. They're going to want to mess them up and get them out of contention. So I don't know. It's going to be a fun thing to see. Hopefully, my Chargers win. I know your Giants they're in the picture, but.
I mean, they picked up his last half of the season. Eli started playing a lot better. O-line started protecting a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Losing Ingram kind of sucked.
Yeah, that hurts. And now Beckham's out again.
Out.
We'll talk about a little more later probably. But
so that's just what we're looking at for the NFL playoff lookout. And now we're going to go to the Cavs and the Bucks trade. Happened a little bit earlier, but, I think it happened last Friday.
Yeah, still noteworthy.
It's still noteworthy. Our scripts are Friday to Friday, so we're actually starting on our episode 3 script for next week already. So it's Friday to Friday. Anything, we have the halftime viewer mail as well. We added that in. If you looked at our podcast from months ago in July and August, we vamped it up a little bit. We got the new logo, we got the new merchandise, website, everything.
Yeah,
we're repping it a lot.
Instagram's getting a roll on.
So. Just like, retweet, share, follow, subscribe, whatever it may be. It helps us. Lets us know we're doing our job right. Anything we're doing wrong, please let us know. Anything you want more of, let us know. We're open really for anything unless it's like crazy stuff that we can't do.
Just be realistic with your questions.
Mm-hmm. So the Cavs acquired Matthew Dellavedova, center John Henson, a second-round pick, and a first-round pick from the Bucks in exchange for guard George Hill and forward Sam Decker. Your thoughts?
I mean, the players being like traded, not really any like huge name players that make like big difference to the teams. I mean, the Cavs fans are happy with the Dellavedova trade. They're chanting MVP and everything. And so, yeah, in my opinion, I don't really know who won that trade, to be honest. I was going to say the Cavs, but I'm trying to remember. Who did they traded Rodney Hood, you said, right?
No, they traded Hill and Decker.
Hill, that's who it was. I'm sorry, George Hill.
No one wants Rodney Hood.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what happened to him. He was really, really good 2 seasons ago. He kind of just fell off, but I think losing George Hill for the Cavs kind of sucks. But he didn't really produce for the team anyway, so it's not like it made like a huge difference to them. But I don't know. To me, it was just kind of like whatever trade.
Who do you think won that trade? If you had to say,
I don't even know, to be honest. Dellavedova was really not that good. He kind of got overhyped after that finals between the Warriors.
Holden Curry down. What do you have, like 12 points a game or something crazy? Or
it was something, I don't know, but it was something
like
that
18.
it's something that he's not going to do every game.
But random trade. No one really saw it coming. It's not really an impactful trade, but it's still a trade that has some pretty decently big names.
Yeah.
Especially big picks involved.
Yeah.
So
a couple seasons ago, getting George Hill would be like pretty big deal.
Yeah, when he was on the Pacers, he was pretty good. He was pretty good.
That Pacers team was good. A lot of the players like fell off, to be honest. Roy Hibbert doesn't even play anymore.
I forgot about him.
West doesn't play anymore.
Stevenson,
well, I don't know why the Pacers let him go. Because he was doing really good for them.
He was pretty good, but I don't know. He's pretty good. He's not one of the best, but he's not one of the worst.
Paul George fell off. That Pacers team really did kind of fall off.
No one really talks about Paul George anymore.
Yeah, he went to OK. Because, in my opinion, Westbrook, he steals like all the shine. Like when Carmelo went there, that was a downfall of Carmelo's career when he went to OKC. And then like Paul George, he's still at OKC. He just signed a new contract this past off season. So I don't know. I wouldn't have stayed. I don't really like Westbrook as a player, to be honest. He's very, very selfish.
Stat padder. Exactly. We talked about it last week. He stat pads a lot. I just don't see him being. I don't think he's a great player. Doesn't have the shooting. I think he's just athletic.
If you take away his athleticism, he's like a nobody. But I mean,
everyone has their opinions, of course. Although Westbrook, fans,
OKC fans, that's their guy. Now that KD's gone or has been gone, that's like their main man. Yeah.
That super team. Remember, they were supposed to be like the next big thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Melo,
they're supposed to compete in the Western Conference, but
Thunder's actually doing good right now in the Western Conference. They're in like the top 4 seeds.
Yeah.
They could do some damage in the playoffs, I think, with just Westbrook and PG. Yeah, they could do some good stuff.
Paul George's defense really does make up for like his offensive playing sometimes, because he doesn't play very well on offense, but like his defense is like sometimes it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll move into another trade, but this is an MLB. Mariners send Carlos Santana to the Indians. Indians send first baseman / DH Edwin Encarnacion to the Mariners. Indians send utility man Yandy Diaz to the Rays. Rays send first baseman Jake Bauers to the Indians. A lot of moving parts. Okay. Mariners want to get rid of all big contracts. They want to go young. They want to go cheap. They want to do what the Athletics were doing last year. But Mariners, not a good team this year. They do want to get rid of Encarnacion already. They want to trade him again or release him. I don't like when they do that to players. Encarnacion had an everyday spot on the Indians, and now they just trade him away for Carlos Santana.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Who do you think? No one really wins that trade because there's way too many moving parts and people are getting released. There's really no definitive winner. What are your thoughts on the trade, I guess?
I mean, since I'm not really like the biggest MLB guy, like I don't really pay attention too much like the certain players. But I don't know. Mariners are doing something weird right now, in my opinion.
The Mariners are not making sense.
Yeah, it's I don't know. They're doing just something weird. They're trying to figure something out.
I don't know why they don't trade Mitch Haniger, though.
I'm not really.
They say they want to hang on to him, but they really shouldn't. He's too good of a player. He had a breakout year. He's a really good outfielder, I'll say. He had a breakout year. The Mariners getting Yandy Diaz, utility guy, can play third base, outfield, basically can play anywhere. I think that's a good pickup for the Rays. Then the Rays send the Indians first baseman Jake Bauers, good lefty to have in the lineup. That's pretty much it. That trade was kind of boring, since people are going to be getting released.
Yeah, so not much
Throughout,
going
a little
on.
cash was involved. I heard $5 million went to I think the Indians got $5 million, whatever it may be. It's boring trade. Not much happened this week in sports.
No, not really.
The
to be
winter
honest.
meetings were really boring. No big trades, no big names. Kluber was on the block. They can get traded, but I'm just saying for this week, for
Nothing,
stuff to go
yeah.
down, nothing really happened. Bauer was on the trading block. Kluber, Syndergaard, JT Realmuto. There were talks of a 3-way trade between the Mets, Yankees, and Marlins. Nothing happened. We needed bigger stuff to happen, but
Yeah,
this week there was really nothing.
there's a lot of speculation going around, but not a lot of action.
Not a lot of action. NBA, no news. I'm not watching the NBA this year. I know a lot of people aren't because of the Warriors. I don't blame anybody on it.
I mean,
but
other than the D-Wade LeBron last game.
yeah, that was pretty much it. There's nothing going on in the NBA besides that one trade. There's no signings in the NFL that were big or trades in the NFL.
Yeah. Kind of a slow week in sports.
It's a slow week. Last week was busy.
Yeah, it was.
That was a busy week. If you go back and look at our podcast, episode 1, ladies and gentlemen, episode 1, that was a good one. We had Dom, we had Antonio, we had Matt. I'm also Matt. We got 2 Matts. But last week was a big week. Next week, it might be big. That's usually how it goes. Big week, slow week, another big week. It all
Yeah,
depends.
it's not going to be exciting every single second.
So that's why people might say, oh, your podcast is kind of boring today. What are we going to talk about? Look at these trade. This is the kickoff talk, our in-depth talk, and we have George Hill getting traded to the Bucks.
Yeah.
What? Like, I don't know. And then we'll go into our halftime viewer mail. This is from JJ in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. If Aaron Rodgers was in Tom Brady's shoes during the same time span, how many Super Bowls would he have? More, less, same?
I would personally say he would have the same or more. I don't think he would have less.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I think
Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady.
I think the only thing that Aaron Rodgers has dealt with is injuries.
Yeah, that's really.
And that's pretty much it.
Messed him up.
Brady doesn't get the good weapons, but he makes them good. Same thing with Rodgers. He has 2 rookie receivers on his team this year. I think they're almost at 1,000 receiving. I don't want to make that assumption until I go see.
Yeah, you don't know for sure, but
Rodgers is more mobile too.
Yeah. And I don't think that he would have less than Brady because, I mean, just look at it. Rodgers is a really good quarterback, in my opinion, better than Brady. So I don't think that there's any chance for Rodgers to have less than Brady. Maybe same or more. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna say anything less.
Oh, Scantling this year only has 451. I was way off. I thought he had more.
Well, he was doing really good in the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Oh, and then St. Brown has 227.
Oh, okay, so yeah.
Well, they're doing pretty good. That's good for rookies. A rookie receiver getting that much on a team. 2 rookie receivers, let alone 2 rookie receivers, plus Randall Cobb, plus Devontae Adams. Those 2 combining for over 600 yards. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good for 2 rookie receivers. Also, Jimmy Graham, who we haven't heard.
I forgot about him. Yeah, wow.
We haven't heard anything from Jimmy Graham this year. I dropped him on fantasy earlier this year. That's how bad he is.
Yeah, he had 1 good game, maybe.
Jimmy Graham sucks in fantasy, and so does Jarvis Landry. He sucks.
Jarvis Landry, you think?
Jarvis Landry sucks.
What? I got him in fantasy. He's been doing good these past couple of weeks. He's really picking up the pace.
Yeah, because all of his points come from PPR. He doesn't get yards. He'll have 7 catches for 30 yards.
It's I don't know, 70-something yard touchdown.
He always gets 7 catches for 50 yards, which is boring. If you
on
not
the Dolphins, I don't know what happened. I guess just the quarterback situation. And,
it was a quarterback situation. Tannehill's always injured, but Mayfield's looking like the man.
Yeah, he is
in Cleveland. I think he's going to be the man. You have Chubb, you have Mayfield, you have Njoku, you have Landry. You need one more receiver. You have Antonio Callaway. You need a big receiver on that team.
They should have kept Gordon.
They should have kept Gordon. I bet they'd be in the playoffs if they had him already in the playoffs.
I wouldn't doubt it.
But they should be better than 5-7-1. They should have beat the Steelers. Should have beat the Saints. It's tough. The refs really mess with the Browns this year.
Refs this year have been kind of shoddy. They haven't been really too consistent with their calls. Miss a lot of big calls. Example: the helmet to helmet on Philip Rivers.
They had the makeup call. People say the refs helped them. But it's makeup calls, everyone. It went both ways. Go look at all the stupid things that were called on the Chiefs and the Chargers, and I'll make that argument all day. So really, I think the Browns are going to be the top of that division next year.
I could see if they add like another like offensive, like maybe like a receiving weapon. Yeah,
Well, I'm trying to think of what receiving weapon they could add for next year. Whether it be they're set at tight end with Njoku. I think he's a
Njoku's
stud.
nice. Yeah.
He's a top 10 tight end.
Yeah, I wanted the Giants to draft him, but
Ingram,
yeah, which he's not bad, just an injury.
I'm trying to think of what receiver. Brandon Marshall, maybe just for like a veteran presence as well.
He's on the Saints, correct?
No, they released him.
Oh, they did?
They released him.
Oh, I didn't even see that. All right, I'm late on everything, I guess.
That's
today.
actually in our rundown for today to talk about later. We always have the rundown. Right now we're in the halftime viewer mail. Getting off track. So I think Aaron Rodgers is the better quarterback because he's mobile. He makes other receivers good. So does Brady. But the way that Rodgers makes other receivers good is by himself.
Yeah.
Brady has help from Belichick and all of his coaches and scouts and all that guru stuff. That he's a system quarterback. I will say it. He's not mobile. He doesn't make a lot of calls at the line. Aaron Rodgers, if you look at how many calls he makes at the line, he's a stud. Injuries, and that's it. And a bad relationship with Mike McCarthy didn't help either.
Yeah, and now that he's out, I guess.
So for my final pick, if Aaron Rodgers was in Tom Brady's shoes,
more of the same amount of likes.
I would say more, to be honest.
Oh, more? Okay.
I would say more. Imagine if Rodgers had Gronkowski.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to be like really any quarterback with a big tight end like that. Sorry.
Especially when Rodgers is mobile.
Yeah.
That's a. But.
And you can throw on the run real good. Oh, yeah. Rodgers is like, I mean, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's like, and I feel like he should leave Green Bay, to be honest.
I think he should. Where do you think Rodgers could go?
Yeah. I mean.
I'm trying to think. Come to Los Angeles.
You'd like him there?
Oh, yeah. You know what?
You don't want like a new young quarterback?
I'll give you a hot take right now. I'll say the Giants.
You think so?
I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants made a trade for Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what trade it'd have to involve a player that's ready now.
Yeah.
I would probably like the next 8 million first rounders, but
yeah.
All depends on what the Packers feel with Aaron Rodgers, but
they're not gonna let him go.
Giants could be Cardinals.
I can see the Cardinals, but like I don't think he would want that.
He would not get traded. We're not saying he's getting traded, ladies and gentlemen. This is just speculation idea of what we want.
Opinions, yeah.
Opinions. This is opinions. This is not rumors. This is not discussion. This is just straight up our thoughts. We have a lot of that on the show, and you don't get that from a lot of podcasts. What other podcasts you see talks about every single sport, comes to you weekly, give you the news, we give you the rumors, we give you pictures on our Instagram, Twitter, we have the Facebook, we have everything that place wants. You come here for all the sports news.
Yeah.
Go to another place and get all your sports news, updates on everything that's going on, in-game updates. Yeah. Anything that's happening in sports, we bring to you. That's why it's called Open Table Sports. It's not all sports. It's not this and the other. It's Open Table Sports. We're always open for discussion. We love the comments. We love the retweets. We like being engaged with people.
Yeah.
That's what makes the sports world better.
And there's not like a lot of places you can go, like our Twitter and Instagram, where you can get the news as fast as we do.
We get the news out quick. We love the discussion. If you guys comment, even if it's negative stuff about what we do, we love it. Yeah. We love the discussion. That's why it's Open Table Sports.
Exactly.
All day. So, a next question in our halftime viewer mail is, what 6 and 7 team has the best chance of making the playoffs? And that is from Austin in Hopewell, New Jersey.
What team? I'm trying to think of exactly what teams are. Wait, should we pull up the schedule?
Well, the only 6 and 7 team in the AFC is Denver. They're not making it because if all they have to do is lose and one of the other teams has to win, and they are done.
Yep.
So, not Denver. It's easier in the NFC because the leader of the NFC right now and the wild card is 6-6-1 Minnesota. People, come on. Vikings. The offense. Kirk Cousins has been terrible this year, giving it $82 million guaranteed.
A lot, yeah.
Gave him a lot of money. Ladies and gentlemen,
They're lucky they have Adam Thielen.
Stupid.
They're
And
lucky.
Stephon Diggs.
True, but Adam Thielen really has
Kyle
shined this year.
Rudolph, who's having a down year. Diggs and Thielen really carry that team.
Yeah,
The
Thielen
defense,
has been-
defense I'll say is very good. That helps, but offense is not rolling.
Yeah, Thielen's been killing this year. He broke the record for most 100 receiving yard games in a row, right? He broke the record.
I think
correct?
so.
Yeah, but yeah, he's having a really good year. That's really helped their offense.
But what's their remaining schedule? Oh, they're going to win out.
Yeah, you think so?
They're going to win out. They have the Dolphins, the Lions, and the Bears.
That Bears game is gonna be a good one.
Bears game is going to be good, and they're at home against the Bears, so that will help.
Yeah.
But they'll beat the Dolphins.
Most
They'll
likely
beat the
do.
Lions. If they just win those two, they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They just need these other two teams to lose one game. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Lose one game. So, if Minnesota wins this week and the other teams lose, Minnesota doesn't clinch the playoffs, but they're the heavy favorite. So right now, I'm going to shoot this question down. No 6 and 7 team is making the playoffs because Carolina, no, they have to face the Saints twice
That's gonna be
and the
tough.
Falcons,
Tough.
all interdivisional games. Philadelphia, no Carson Wentz, no running backs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that.
Washington, their injury. Oh God, they're gonna end up going 6 and 10. So who do they even face this week? Well, they face the Jaguars. Jaguars are still dangerous. Still dangerous. Defense is still top 5 in the league.
They're not consistent. That's the thing.
The offense, it's just the offense.
Blake Bortles is real shaky.
But that
They
defense,
don't really
is-
have any receivers.
the receivers are pretty good.
Fournette's been hurt this season.
Yeah, Fournette being out really that didn't help Bortles at all. I think Bortles would have had a better year with Fournette.
Oh yeah, that would have been a lot of help.
Definitely would have had a better year with Fournette.
And that's one game suspension he had because of the fight.
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
like a whole lot going on in
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
I think no 6 and 7 team makes it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You're going to see a lot of teams get knocked out.
This Sunday, yeah.
Hey. See a lot of teams get knocked out. Even Saturday, too, because there's games on
Oh, yeah.
Saturday starting.
Yeah, that's
If
true.
the Broncos lose, they're out. So that'll start a big landslide.
it'll really start to slow down. We'll really see who's really making the playoffs, and we'll really start seeing the playoffs.
It's going to
picture
start
after Sunday.
tomorrow.
Or after Saturday, yeah.
The playoff picture, it's going to start tomorrow.
After tomorrow, you really start to see who's gonna make it, who's not.
So then our next question is, who has had the best offseason so far in the MLB? That's Rick from Siesta Key, Florida. So who do you think has had the best offseason so far in the MLB?
Trying to think. Name off some like trades or something. Cause I don't really follow you the most. I'm more of like the football, NBA, and like soccer guy.
We have different people that focus on different stuff.
Yeah.
Like Dominic, he's tennis, NASCAR, and NHL. I pretty much do anything really, except I do like basketball, some hockey here and there, NFL and MLB. That's really my thing, and UFC, MMA, that type of stuff. He's soccer, basketball, football, that type of stuff. I think the best offseason so far, probably go to the Mets.
Yeah, I mean, you've been hearing a lot about them too. So
Probably the Mets. Been in some talks, especially if they get JT.
Wow. I totally forgot about that.
Especially JT
The
Real.
Mets getting Cano and Diaz. I
They got
forgot.
Cano. They got Diaz. That
Yeah.
team's shaping up.
They
That
have
team is shaping up, and
yeah.
they just signed Uris Familia, which we'll get into later. So don't hang your hat on that one yet.
Yeah,
Getting
never mind.
Familia and Diaz, that's your 8th and 9th inning guys.
Yeah,
Don't trade away Syndergaard. If the Mets are listening to this, do not trade Noah Syndergaard unless you are getting a top outfielder back. Don't trade him.
Yeah.
The only way I would trade Noah Syndergaard is to the Dodgers for, like, you're going to have to get Walker Buehler and, like, Yasiel Puig back for that because there's no way I'm trading Noah Syndergaard. Keep DeGrom, Syndergaard, and they have to get Wheeler and Matz. That's nasty. People underestimate Jason Vargas, though. He had over 20 wins in the American League like 2-3 years ago. He was the best pitcher in the league 2-3 years ago. You probably don't even know who that is.
I really don't.
So that's why I'm here for
Going
baseball.
with the flow.
I think the Mets really had a good. It's got to go to the Mets. Getting Cano, getting Diaz, getting some money back in that trade, letting go some Jay Bruce. They need to get an outfielder though. They need to get a top ready outfielder. You know who they're going to get? AJ Pollock. Easy. They're going to get him. Sign AJ Pollock, get Zach Britton, trade for Real Muto, but only give up I'd give McNeil and like Nemo and maybe some like low and like Jimenez or something like that. And from the lowers, do that. You get JT, maybe even do it in a 3-team trade. Who knows? But they have to get another infielder, like a cheap one. Get like I don't know. They got to get a cheap infielder and a top outfielder, which will be AJ Pollock, and then they need a lefty in the bullpen, Zach Britton. Remember that. That's pretty much it. Braves are probably in contention for offseason of the year as well, but I think Mets are going to win it out, especially if they sign Pollock. Don't give up Syndergaard, though, unless you get JT Realmuto back. It'll be all right. I'm a Yankees and Brewers fan, so I can really care less about the Mets. So now we're into the rundown. This is a little bit quicker. We're about like 2 minutes for each topic. Mike Napoli retired from the MLB. Decent career. Raiders fired GM Reggie McKenzie. You got any thoughts on that one? Raiders are a dumpster fire.
Yeah, that whole Gruden signing.
10 years for $100 million. That's brutal. That's brutal.
I expected better from him, but can't really do much for the team yet, to be honest. And trading away Khalil Mack for the start of the season. So, I know he was. Yeah. Sorry.
Harold Baines and Lee Smith inducted into the MLB Hall of Fame. Billy Hamilton signed with the Royals on a 1-year, $5.5 million deal. Nick Young signed with the Nuggets. Atlanta United won the 2018 MLS Cup. That's a good win for them in the city.
Yeah, and their player, Josef Martinez, won the MVP. So Atlanta United's killing it.
I know you're going to have some thoughts on this one. Jason Garrett tried to get tight end Jason Witten out of retirement to help the team in the playoffs. Thoughts?
I mean, they definitely do need a tight end. They need a strong tight end. And
now that Swaim is out.
Yeah, and Jason Garrett was that guy for the past couple years, but
Jason Witten.
What did I say, Jason Garrett?
Yeah.
My bad, Jason Witten.
You can put him at a tight end. You never know. You never know.
I doubt it, but you can see. But yeah, I mean, they could definitely use him, but he's not coming out, so right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what tight end they could get this offseason. We're not looking at NFL free agency yet. We're at week 15. We'll be doing our specials on that, like offseason projections, stuff like that in the future. The Reds acquired left-handed pitcher Robbie Scott from the Red Sox via waiver claim. The Tigers signed right-handed pitcher Tyson Ross to a 1-year, $5.75 million deal. I think that's an underrated contract. Tyson Ross is still a good pitcher, in my opinion. Phillies pursued Nathan Eovaldi as a closer. That's a bold move. The NFL had its highest TV ratings since 2016 this past Sunday. That's really good. Vikings fired their offensive coordinator, John DeFilippo. Terrible offense, as I said before.
I'm surprised by that because they were so adamant on keeping him this past offseason.
The Rockets and the Lakers, I can update you on, are interested in trading for J.R. Smith.
I wouldn't even try, to be honest. The guy, he's not consistent at all, and you can't – I mean – sometimes he just gets like lost, to be honest. Like we saw what he did the last finals against the Warriors. The guy he literally just got lost.
Yeah.
But moving on, I'm gonna say something about soccer now. Manchester United coach Jose Mourinho, he's becoming very frustrated with the team and their lack of activity during the transfer window, and he's not seeing a lot going on with that club for this upcoming January transfer window. So he's getting really frustrated. There's been a lot of talk about him not staying with the team for this next season. Zinedine Zidane, who also was the coach of Real Madrid, he's been said to maybe try to take the place. But in my opinion, I don't see Jose Mourinho staying with that team for this next season just because he's becoming very frustrated, arguing with players, and it's just not good over there.
The Cavaliers center Tristan Thompson missed 2 to 4 weeks with a sprained foot. Big hit to them.
Yeah, it's going to suck for the Cavs.
Now they're going to be even worse. Can you imagine that? 49ers placed wide receiver Pierre Garçon on IR, ending his season. No one cares. So Uris Familia signed a 3-year, $30 million contract with the Mets. He's back with them after getting traded to the Athletics. Great signing by them. This is another great signing coming out of the bullpen. Joe Kelly signed a 3-year, $25 million contract with the Dodgers. Maybe a little high, but he beat them, and now he's joining them in the World Series. So I think that's a great trade. Yankee Happ he wants to be called J Happ. I don't know why he wants to be called J, not J-A, which I don't know why he wants to be called J Happ. J-J-A. There's a difference, people, so don't comment saying they're the same. To a 2-year deal with a 3rd-year option. The Saints released wide receiver Brandon Marshall. See how far up that was?
Yeah.
Look at all this stuff that happened before it.
Exactly, yeah.
This is our script.
Yeah.
Alexis Sanchez. Oh, this is you.
Okay, so Alexis Sanchez, left winger for Manchester United. His time's running out there. He hasn't played good at all as he did previously with Arsenal. PSG are looking at him. They're looking to pick him up, which I don't know why, because they have Neymar, Mbappe, Cavani all up front. They don't really need another winger, and but they have the money. So with money, you can do anything in sports.
Yeah. So the Rays signed starting pitcher Charlie Morton to a 2-year, $30 million contract. A lot of money. He had a good year last year, I'll say that. But I don't think he's worth $15 million a year just yet. He's on the back end of his time span in the MLB. He actually was thinking about retirement before taking that deal. Declined an Astros offer, was thinking about retirement, then he signed with the Rays. Rays are going to be a sneaky team this year. The 2020 NFL Draft is going to be in Las Vegas. What are your thoughts on that one?
I mean, it was whatever, to be honest to me. It's just, I guess it would be good to, like, I don't even know. Las Vegas is already full.
A lot of money. They're going to be making a lot of money. The NFL is going to be swimming in it that weekend. The Blue Jays release infielder Troy Tulowitzki. He's open to playing other infield positions, which is very interesting. Obviously, he'd love to play shortstop for a team, but if the team needed a second baseman, he's open for it. I know the Brewers are looking at him. Yankees have thought about it, but we'll see where he goes. The Raiders released C.J. Anderson already. These quick releases. Eric Swoop, he was another one that got released a day after getting claimed.
And they didn't really,
Brandon Marshall, C.J. Anderson.
And all the players are getting released. In my opinion, they didn't really have the chance to even do anything for the teams.
No.
Like Brandon Marshall barely even played released.
I don't even think he played at all.
I don't even think he played.
Yeah.
And then just some more soccer news. Juve are ready to make, or Juventus, the soccer team in Italy, they're ready to make an $80 million or euro. Sorry, we're not in Italy or Europe. They're ready to make an $80 million euro offer for midfielder Paul Pogba. He was previously there with Juve, won with them multiple times, the Scudetto and all that. That'll be a really good pickup for them, just because he hasn't played well in England at all, and I think it's more like coaching over there. But in Italy, he played really, really well. Just look him up. You see all of his highlight videos in Italy. He played amazing.
Mm-hmm. The Phillies signed outfielder Andrew McCutchen to a 3-year, $50 million contract. The Mets looked at him before he signed with Philly. That's a lot of money for, he's mid-30s. He's not in his prime anymore, ladies and gentlemen. It's a weird signing. I know the Phillies needed an outfielder. If they get Bryce Harper, that Andrew McCutchen's still good, though. I'll say that, but it's not worth the money. Do you think Harper can go there, the Phillies?
I don't know. I don't see him there.
Harper to the White Sox. That's my thing. And Machado to the Yankees. Yankees are still in on Harper. I don't care what anyone says. They're still in on him. The Bears placed defensive back Bryce Callahan on IR with a broken foot. Big hit to their defense. The White Sox acquired starting pitcher Ivan Nova from the Pirates. The Reds acquired Tanner Rourke from the Nationals for actually another Tanner. Starting pitcher Lance Lynn signed a 3-year, $30 million contract with the Rangers. Oh, my God. You give $10 million a year to Lance Lynn? What are you doing? The Angels signed Justin Bour to an undisclosed contract, first baseman, DH. He's still a good player in my eyes. The Tigers signed infielder Jody Mercer. UFC 233 is postponed. It was supposed to be January, the end of January, I think January 24th, actually, and they postponed it. So they're still going to go on with UFC 234 and still call it UFC 234. 233 will just be postponed / canceled. They don't know what they're going to do yet. The Brewers, my Brewers, acquired Alex Claudio for the 2019 39th overall pick. Claudio, great pickup, 3.20 ERA in his career. Amazing left-handed submarine pitcher. I think he's going to do wonders. We needed another lefty in the bullpen. him, Hader, Knable, Jeffress. Ooh, watch out. And then if we trade for Greinke or Madison Bumgarner or Kluber, watch out. Ooh. Coming forward. And now we're in talks with the Marlins on JT Realmuto. Brewers are going to be nasty. When 7, we should have beat the Dodgers. I'm going to say it every freaking week. We should have beat the Dodgers in that series. The Nets signed Spencer Dinwiddie to a 3-year, $34 million extension. I know you had some thoughts on that.
I mean, they gave him a lot of money, to be honest.
Yeah, they gave him a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Way too much.
Darius Geis has had 3 surgeries since tearing his ACL for an infection he's been dealing with. That's just like Alex. What's going on with the Redskins and these infections after tears and breaks?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
That sucks for him, the young kid or young player. And then I'm gonna just talk briefly about Champions League soccer. As all soccer fans know, this year, part of the year, biggest part of the year right now, Champions League soccer. Real Madrid, they're really not looking strong anymore. They just got beat by Shakhtar, I believe it was. They got beat 3-0, which had never happened to them at home in the Champions League. Or if it hasn't been a while, I believe. So I believe it has happened, but it hasn't been a while. And then also, I mean, mostly because the absence of Cristiano Ronaldo is not there. So that's one of the greatest players in the world not on your team anymore. And they're really not playing well with him. They got a new coach. He's not really doing that well. But on the other hand, Juve, who acquired Cristiano Ronaldo, are looking really strong. They're beaten in the Serie A, unbeaten in the Serie A, killing the Champions League. Another favorite, in my opinion, the Champions League, Manchester City, of course, which a lot of people know that just because they did win the Premier League last season. But yeah, that's my 2 favorites right now are Juve and Man City. They're looking really, really strong. Some other teams that were supposed to do good. PSG's looking good. Napoli are out of it. Inter out of it. A lot of Italian teams actually got knocked out this past week in Champions League. So yeah, I mean,
the Jets placed running back Isaiah Crowell today on IR, ending his season. Pretty big hit to that team. He's been having a really good year. I know you had him on fantasy.
Yeah. Also adamant on keeping him. I love him so much. I picked him up during the draft. I was like, he'll have a good season. Started off real well, started to die off more towards the end. And now that he's hurt, dropped.
And another news for one of your other guys, OBJ is out for Sunday against the Titans. Your thoughts on that one?
It's such a toss-up with me because I really want to make the playoffs just because I always want to see my team win and succeed. But also, I mean, I don't want to say tank for a better draft pick, but like, I would like a nice QB, a new QB. But Odell being out, that kind of sucks. I know he really wanted to make the playoffs. That's going to hurt the team a lot. I mean, still have Sterling Shepard, Evan Ingram's limited. Saquon Barkley, everyone knows him.
Mm-hmm.
He just goes off. He's crazy. If he's not Rookie of the Year, then I'm not watching football ever again. I'm telling you right now, Rookie of the Year, I'm not going to watch a single NFL
Who do you
game
think would win it if he doesn't? Like the second? Oh, maybe Lindsey.
Either Philip Lindsay,
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, or Mayfield. But Saquon's having his receiving yards and his rushing yards. Look it up. His receiving yards are insane. He has over 1,000 receiving yards, I'm pretty sure.
I'll look that up.
Or he's close to it. He has like some crazy stats. I know he's over 1,000 rushing yards, which that's easy for him.
So if you go to receiving yards, Barkley is not here, so he's not over 1,000 just yet.
All right, well, he's close to it, I'm pretty sure.
No, I got it.
All right.
I do the stats.
All right.
I do it for a living.
I believe he's close to it, if I remember correctly.
Receiving, he has 629.
Okay, that's
and
for a rookie running back.
He has 4 receiving touchdowns this year. That's good for a running back.
Yeah.
With 3 more weeks to go, he could probably get over 6, I think.
A rookie running back with almost 700 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns. And then he has, I think 12 or 13 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah,
he's playing really good. I mean, this is like a once-in-a-lifetime player. You don't see guys like this just come in the league and just kill it.
Melvin Gordon, 453 receiving yards, but he's missed like 2 or 3 games. So that's really good for missing like 2-3 games this season.
Yeah.
That's
another thing that like about Barkley that like he can like,
and he has 4 touchdowns too. Melvin Gordon receiving touchdowns. So and he's missed games this year.
Like running backs like Todd Gurley doesn't really they don't really throw to him much, right? Like
No.
So like
Occasionally they do.
So like Saquon Barkley is that guy. Like he can catch, he can run, he's quick, he's agile, he's strong. I mean, there's nothing more you want in a running back than that.
I'll look at Gurley's receiving yards now.
Like Saquon Barkley, I know many people said this, but you need more than one guy to tackle him.
Oh yeah. Unless you have like a really big guy.
His legs are like tree trunks. This guy's
Actually
like,
Gurley has 504 receiving
he
yards
does?
and 4 touchdowns. What's up
Okay.
with these 4 touchdowns for running backs and receiving? He's got
It's a lucky
15
number.
rushing touchdowns. Gurley.
Saquon has what, 12 or 13?
Gotta go back to him.
I believe it was 12 or 13, but yeah. I mean, this guy, Saquon Barkley, he's scary already.
You think he'll be on the Giants for his whole career? He has 9 rushing touchdowns.
Oh, 9?
So he has
okay.
13 total.
Okay, so yeah, I guess I got that mixed up.
Yeah.
I do see him on the Giants' whole career because I don't see the Giants letting him go. The only way that I see him not being on the Giants for his whole career is if something goes wrong with like him in the locker room, or if he's just not happy with the team anymore, he's like fed up with everything. Then I can see them trading him away. But I do not see it like at all throughout his whole career him playing on another team but the Giants.
What do you think's going on with Eli Manning? You think he's do you think he's retiring, or you think he has?
I think he has another year in him. No, I think he has a couple more seasons, to be honest.
Really?
I don't think he retires for the next 2 seasons. I think he plays this season.
He's got 1 year left on his contract.
Yeah, I think they sign him again. Because
To another contract?
I could see
I
him
think he
staying there.
retires after next year.
You think so?
Yes. I think he's going to retire after next year. So, and then another news, the Jaguars signed kicker Kai Forbath. James Harden had a really good night last night.
Yeah, 50-point game.
The Mets, Marlins, and Padres are in talks about a 3-way trade. Mets would get JT Realmuto. Padres would get Noah Syndergaard. And Marlins will be getting big prospects. So that's it for today for our podcast. A little bit short of an hour. Last week we went a little bit over. So we're usually in that ballpark from 50 to about an hour and 10 minutes, depending on how much is going on. Obviously, today we didn't have as much because it's a slow week.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow us, Open Table Sports, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You like us, whatever it may be. Join in on the discussions. We always advise that. Like stuff that you obviously like, retweet cool stuff, whatever it may be. If you want more, let us know. You could DM us. I'm the owner. He's the other owner. We're the two in charge. So if you have anything to DM us personally, I'm Degnan_Matt on Twitter. And your handle?
I don't even remember, to be honest. I literally pay attention to Open Table so much that I don't even pay attention to my personal. I don't tweet on my personal. I don't do anything. It's all Open Table on Twitter for me.
Mm-hmm. So if you have anything, I'm the primary owner, Degnan_Matt. If you have anything, concerns, if you want us to join you, I've been on a guest on multiple podcasts. I've been contacted before. If you want a guest on your show, if you want another podcast for your website, just let us know. If you want both of us on your show, we'll join. Whatever it may be, just let us know. We are open for whatever, unless it's crazy stuff. That's pretty much it. If you want merchandise, just contact us. We'll get it made for you and shipped out. Open Table Sports for everything. No underscores, no slashes, nothing. It's just regular Open Table Sports. Yep. We'll be back next Friday, unless we do an earlier episode with just the two of us recapping. Maybe on Monday we do one.
Recapping football.
Recap on football, or maybe even Tuesday, recapping everything.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll let you guys know. We have the updates on Open Table Sports. Tell a friend, tell a family member, whatever it may be. We've been Open Table Sports. I'm Matt. This is Angelo.
Thank you. I don't think the stream ended. Technical difficulties.